for your day with the morning warm-up with Trey Lyle. Join us live on VTRN Sports 93.3 FM or the VTRN Sports app. Open VTRN Sports on your smart speaker or stream live on YouTube. Time to get ready for your day with the morning warm-up with Trey Lyle and Ty Tracy.
7:03 on this September 11th, 2025. Welcome to the morning warm-up. I'm Trey Lyle. Obviously, on a day like today, remembering everything that happened on this date in 2001, it's always difficult, these kind of days. I always think of, obviously, the Virginia Tech shooting and everything that went along with that. So just hug a family member today, and pray for those families that have to be reminded every day of one of the most horrific tragedies that we've seen in this country. Now, we're going to spend an hour or so, hopefully giving you a little bit of a distraction from what's going on in the world, talking sports. Let's get to it with In Case You Missed It.
Keeping up with sports 24/7 takes some serious effort, especially when you're sleeping. Don't worry, the morning warm-up stays alert around the clock. Now here is everything you missed last night.
So, Liberty and James Madison have agreed to the Battle of the Blue Ridge, is what they're going to dub the rivalry. A trophy is in work after they've added more matchups in the 2038 and 2040 season. By the way, football schedules, I think it's footballschedules.com or collegefootballschedules.com. Basically, it's the place to go if you want to see like your team's fbschedules.com. If you want to see like your team's schedule for like the next 20 years, place to go. We officially now know what their like farthest out game, and it's actually September 15th, 2040, as James Madison heads to Liberty. They added matchups in the years 2038, 2040, 2037, 2039. So now they will have 10 matchups over the next 16 seasons. A trophy's in the works for this. By the way, I did offer some inspiration for them, which apparently I'm really good at offering inspiration. Because if you go to the Commander's social media or you follow me at TreyLyleVT, you'll see where I retweeted it. The Commanders used...
I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill. And I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill.
But I propose they use the greatest trophy in sports, the greatest rivalry in sports, the civil conflict between UCF and UConn, which I think actually was played once. That they use that for inspiration. But the Battle of the Blue Ridge, which I actually like the name, Liberty versus JMU. It'll be, obviously, if you want your tickets for the game in Liberty, not this in 2 weeks on the 19th, head to InsaneRadioDeals.com. You can get season tickets for the remainder of this season there, and that includes the JMU game. That game's sold out, so it's one of the few places you can get tickets to this game, and I bet you they're about the same price as the ones you'd find on that one of those other ticketing sites, but for us at Insane Radio Deals, why it's a great deal, it's actually season tickets. So you get the JMU game and the remaining home games for the Liberty Flames for the rest of the year. So you get some great value there. So definitely recommend that. And so September 5th. And then obviously, so if you want to break down the exact matchups, you have this Saturday, or not this Saturday after next. And then you have September 5th, 2026, when the Flames head to JMU. September 6th, 2031, when the Flames head to JMU again. Then back in Lynchburg, September 11th, 2032. So exactly 7 years from now, yeah, that's math. 7 years from now, we'll have Liberty, JMU at Liberty. September 17th, 2033, and then, so they'll have, I'm just going to give the years, 25, 26, 31, 32, 33, 34, 37, 38, 39, and 40. That's a lot. But I'm glad this is happening. Someone asked me yesterday, actually it was Caleb Barnes, who I do bring the heat with. Who's a Liberty grad. And I'll ask Luke this, and maybe you'll have a different answer because you are 19 years old, so you don't really know this. would you rather play Coastal or JMU every year? Because Coastal's like your big rival.
It's got to be JMU because I'm tired of seeing how good they are. I just want to play them and beat them. But also, is the trophy going to be ready next week?
No, it's being the words are, and I will read the exact quote. The regularly scheduled game between the two top group of 5 teams in the Commonwealth will now officially be branded as Battle of the Blue Ridge. A rivalry trophy is currently in development and will be unveiled at a later date. By the way, ODU read that and was like, "What?" That would be ironic if Liberty lost ODU. But anyways.
But I mean, why schedule both teams and like make one of your rivalry week?
Yeah, I mean, I think both teams they should.
I think Liberty should do that.
So
I think Liberty should do that. I ain't trying
so
to
let
say,
us
like,
know. Let us know at Trey Lyle VT at Ty Tracy 90 at L Barnett 066. Would you rather play JMU every year or Coastal every year? Which I'm glad this is happening.
or both.
For both, yeah, I agree. Like JMU's weird. I don't think like JMU and on top of my head, like, and I could be wrong. It feels like JMU doesn't have a natural rival yet. Like I can think of most rivalries in the state, like Tech UVA is one. ODU.
I think
ODU is such a new program. I don't think they have one, but like
I think it might be ODU or JMU, but that's not
because they're in the Sun Belt together.
Yeah, but that's still not. Like
you could say
official.
JMU and App State. That kind of makes sense considering like they both were FCS schools and they like contended for national championships, and then they both went to the Sun Belt.
Yeah, but like some like official, like official rivalry. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like stamped, but that's like it's kind of hard to tell. You know what I'm saying?
But I mean, obviously, Coastal is and that's an old school rivalry because that was a rivalry back in the Big South.
Yeah.
So,
but I was like, I think Liberty should make a move to schedule both and have put one as your rivalry week, like they always have.
Well, Liberty ideally could just go to the Sun Belt one day, and then they don't have to schedule any of these rivals because then they just play them in conference play.
That's true.
So, but I don't know if that will happen. Anyway, so that's some news from yesterday. Other news and notes to the NFL. It appears Brock Purdy unlikely to play week 2. We mentioned a little bit about this yesterday, but Adam Schefter dropped the report dealing with toe and left shoulder injuries that happened in the second quarter against the Seahawks. Shanahan said yesterday the toe is the bigger concern and said Wednesday he's unlikely to play against the Saints. It appears that this could be a multiple week injury, but we'll see. So just keep that in mind. Update from a story a few weeks ago, and unfortunately I don't really want to talk about this, but we mentioned how a Florida State student been shot a few weeks ago, and update on that is 4 people have been arrested in connection with the shooting. In connection to the shooting of the Florida State linebacker Ethan Pritchard, the Florida Department of Law Enforcement Commissioner Mark Glass said Wednesday. Glass said Pritchard was not doing anything wrong when he was ambushed outside an apartment last month. He added Pritchard was dropping off family members and a child when he was shot in the back of the head. Again, just more tragic news to top everything that's going on right now. Other news and notes, another injury. Dallas Cowboys appear to be without cornerback Deron Bland for a couple weeks because of a right foot injury he suffered in Monday's practice, sources told ESPN. Bland did not practice Wednesday, but the injuries are unrelated to the foot issue that limited him for 7 games last season. Last year, Bland dealt with a stress fracture in his left foot that required surgery. Other news and notes from yesterday. We'll get to baseball scores in a matter of moments. By the way, Paul Skeens had a really, really good night. I just want to throw that out there. We'll mention that in a second. It appears... Oh, I do want to shout the Broncos, by the way. Broncos announced they're building a new stadium, but they're self-funding it. But I will say, if you ever buy something from Walmart, you're basically funding the Broncos stadium because that's who owns the Broncos. But it appears that the Broncos are doing something rarely done in sports where they're self-funding a stadium. So shout out to the Broncos. The NBA announced yesterday they will implement a new change, which I actually like because I think it's going to incentivize people doing this. for the 2025-26 season. An unsuccessful end of the period heave will now be recorded as a missed field goal attempt for the team and not the player. Sources told ESPN. The long heaves will no longer have an impact on individual player percentages. I honestly think that was one reason why we didn't see like the last second heaves at the end of the first half or the end of the first or third quarter, because they didn't want to affect their field goal percentage. So I'm glad to see that, because then it increases the chances of it, and you might get a cool shot ever so often. Baseball scores from yesterday. Tigers are just destroying the Yankees. 11-1 yesterday. Rangers defeat the Brewers 6-3. Athletics defeat the Red Sox 5-4. Diamondbacks over the Giants 5-3. Angels over the Twins 4-3. Paul Skeens. So I mentioned Paul Skeens. He got to his 200th strikeout, but they still lost, showing how the Pirates are the Pirates, as the O's defeat him 2-1. Royals over the Guardians 4-3. Marlins defeat the Nats 8-3. Phillies over the Mets 11-3. Astros over the Blue Jays 3-2. Cubs over the Braves 3-2. White Sox. Hey, White Sox got to win. They're 56-90. We're not really talking about them. Last year we talked about them a lot. 6-5 over the Rays. Reds defeat the Padres 2-1. Mariners over the Cardinals 4-2. And the Rockies still lost 9-0 to the Dodgers.
The crazy thing about Paul Skeens is he went 5 innings yesterday and he struck out 8, which means he struck out over half of the batters he faced.
That's good math.
That's nuts.
Yeah, he faced 15 and he struck out 8. That's a good job. That was good math right there, buddy. But yeah, Paul Skeens, free Paul Skeens. Yeah, it's just.
No, I'm opposed.
Still free him. He's that good. I mean, please don't be this be the pitcher version of Mike Trout. Please just don't be that. That's all I hope. All right, when we come back here on the morning warm-up, we'll do Today in Sports History, plus we'll make some picks for the Commanders game against the Packers. Plus, later on the show, Andy Bitter joins us to talk about what's next for Virginia Tech. We talked a little bit about it yesterday, but Andy will give us his great insight next, or later on in the show. But next, Today in Sports History, plus some picks.
It's Truck Month at Magic City, and that means incredible selection and savings on all pre-owned vehicles, too. Right now, we have over 200 fantastic used cars, trucks, and SUVs in stock with huge Truck Month savings. Magic City even has a great selection of more than 30 pre-owned vehicles, all priced under $20,000. Wow, 30 under 20 grand. Hurry in today. We got what you're looking for at the Magic City Auto Group, Roanoke, Lexington, Covington, and Bedford. MagicCityAutoGroup.com.
This September 27th and 28th, enjoy Virginia's finest wines at the Smith Mountain Lake Wine Festival, once again hosted at Bernard's Landing. Stroll the expansive lawn, sample wines from over 30 local vineyards, visit gourmet food trucks and artisan vendors, all with the lake as your beautiful backdrop. Bring your chairs and your 10x10 tents and set up for the entire day of music and fun. For more information and tickets, visit smlwinefestival.com.
Hey there, fellow travelers. It's me, the Hotel Whiz. Before you go anywhere, call me day or night for hotel rates too low to publish. I'll save you up to 75% on over 500,000 hotels across the globe. You see, I've already done the research, so you don't have to spend time online trying to find the best deal. That's up to 75% off. Just call me, the Hotel Whiz. It's a free call, and you get instant access to rates too low to publish with no cancellation fees.
Make a free call now and save up to 75% off your hotel rooms the next time you're going somewhere for business or pleasure. Call the Hotel Whiz now and get instant access to rates too low to publish. 800-378-2714. 800-378-2714. 800-378-2714. Call the Hotel Whiz right now for rates too low to publish. 800-378-2714.
At a time when children are in crisis, the Kids Mental Health Foundation envisions a future where mental health is a vital part of growing up, and support starts with all of us. At home, at school, at practice, everywhere kids are.
If you're at school having a bad day, you just don't want to do anything.
I just get these thoughts like, do better. All my little emotions in my head is just running crazy. I don't know what to do.
As a teacher or coach, do you ever feel overwhelmed?
He's just in tears in the huddle. I was like, what's wrong? And he's just like, I'm just so frustrated. And I didn't know what to do.
None of my undergraduate studies talked about mental health.
Teachers need tons of help.
The Kids Mental Health Foundation is the leading organization promoting mental health for children in the U.S. and has free tools and information developed by experts.
Having those resources is the same as the CPR class to me. We're trying to save a life here.
Check out kidsmentalhealthfoundation.org to get started.
Getting together with friends and family is one of life's greatest joys. But with the rise in misleading rumors that have sparked some confusion and worry about vaccines, our treasured community immunity could be at risk. It's true. Together, we are all healthier when everyone is vaccinated. So let's get together and let's thrive together. Talk with your pediatrician today about keeping up or catching up on routine childhood immunization. This message is brought to you by the American Academy of Pediatrics.
Disasters strike, fires, hurricanes, earthquakes. When they do, Direct Relief delivers. Medicines, medical supplies, everything doctors and nurses need to save lives. Let's ship her out! Every day across the U.S. and around the world, they're making a difference. No politics, no red tape, just help. If your family needed urgent medical care, wouldn't you want that help fast? Direct Relief is a lifeline for people in crisis. So check them out at directrelief.org.
Smith Mountain Lake is having their wine festival on September 27th and 28th. And we got you covered at InsaneRadioDeals.com. Great deals on tickets for this fabulous event. $25 for the taster ticket. And for VIP, $75. That's half of regular priced tickets. Go to InsaneRadioDeals.com and enjoy the fall weather. Smith Mountain Lake Wine Festival.
In the longest regular season road trip in over a decade, Jefferson Forest Cavaliers football, presented by TrosLaw.com, features a date at the Mount Airy Granite Bears. Your Central VA flooring kickoff show starts at 6:30 this Friday, September 12th. Join us on the Virginia's Talk Station app, 100.9 FM Lynchburg, 95.5 FM Bedford, and Open Virginia Talk Radio Network on your smart speaker. JF Football is also presented by Apple Auto Glass, live from the Plumbing, Impact Church, and Magic City Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Bedford.
Good morning. We are just getting your day started here on VTRN Sports with the morning warm-up. Stay connected with the show at Trey Lyle VT and Ty Tracy 90 on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Listen wherever you are with the VTRN Sports app or watch the show live on YouTube at youtube.com/VTRN Sports Lynchburg. Now, back to the morning warm-up.
7:21 on this Thursday morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the morning warm-up. Hope you're doing well. Luke, bounce back day today. You feeling good?
Yeah, yesterday wasn't picking too hot, but today we're gonna be better.
All right. Hashtag get better. Shout out to Buzz Williams.
Tyrod waiting. Tyrod scrambling. Back at the 20. Fires end zone and is caught for the touchdown by Roberts. It's a miracle in Blacksburg. Tyrod did it, Mikey. Tyrod did it.
It's time for Today in Sports History.
Play action. Salter to throw back to the left, and it's caught in the end zone. Light him up. Touchdown, Liberty. Bentley Henshaw.
From ruin to redemption, the Virginia Cavaliers are the 2019 NCAA National Champions.
Let's hear what Ty really knows about what happened on this day in sports history.
All right. On this date in 1964, this channel cancels Fight of the Week, ending 18 years of regularly scheduled primetime boxing on U.S. broadcast network television. You have a 1 in 3 chance of getting this. That's your hint, because there was 3 channels then.
I'm going to say my usual channel guess, CBS.
Incorrect. Okay. What channel had the Wide World of Sports?
NBC. Was it NBC? No, it was ABC. So it was ABC. Was it ABC?
It was ABC.
Did Al Michaels call those?
Yeah, I think he was a part of it, amongst others. You make me feel so old, Luke. All right, ABC. Yes, that's the answer. We're off to a rough start. Okay. We're going to the year of 1985. Actually, we're going to go back 2 years first. In 1983, this running back ran for 118 yards in a 25-21 win for his team, becoming the third player in NFL history to rush for 11,000 yards. If I gave you the team, I think you would get it. That's why I didn't say the team.
Emmitt Smith.
1983.
Too early.
He wasn't even in the NFL in 1983.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
He may or may not have made one of the most immaculate catches in the history of football.
Okay.
Aren't you? Wait.
I'm a Steelers fan, but I just forgot.
You also are a Steelers fan.
Yeah. Dang it, Franco Harris. Which he died like last year, 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think so. But oh my God. You're right. He is 16. He feels 16. All right. Anyway, to 1985. This man of the Cincinnati Reds became the all-time hits leader with 4,192 hits, breaking Ty Cobb's record.
What year was it?
I mean, he still is the all-time hits leader, but it's 1985.
Pete Rose.
There you go. Okay. Whew. This moment I hate. This school, a top team in the FCS, beat number 13 Virginia Tech 21-16.
What year?
2010.
Shoot, I don't even know.
Wait, how old were you? You been one?
No, I would have been 4 or 5.
Okay, close enough. You should know this school.
I'm gonna get it wrong. Kennesaw State.
Okay. Let's think. Nope. We're gonna work through this.
What was the answer?
So, Kennesaw State. Division 2 at the. No, this is an FCS. So it's an FCS school.
Yeah, you said FCS.
So that year, Tech started 0-2 because they lost to LSU. Was it 2000 or Boise? Was it 2010? They lost to Boise. I think it was Boise actually. All right, so they lost to Boise at FedEx. Ironically, went on to win. I was at the Orange Bowl they were at, so it was Boise State at FedEx. Shout out to Brian Nolan. Then they became they were number 13. So, hint, if I brought this up, it's a Commonwealth team. There's your first hint. So now let's think of Commonwealth teams that were in the FCS at 2010 that were also good in the FCS. So it wouldn't be Liberty because they weren't good in the FCS at 2010. Right. You're down to like 2 schools.
Like JMU, were they?
There you go. You got it.
Boom.
Oh my God.
See, I didn't know it was going to be a Commonwealth team. That wasn't like a given.
That's what I would have guessed. I mean, this is kind of like this was like the biggest win in JMU's history. Outside of winning the national championship. So, well, that Tech team was really good.
And they knocked off somebody last year. Who they knock off last year, 2 years ago?
They put 50 on North. That's when it was like 70-50 or something crazy against North Carolina.
Yeah.
That was last year. That was the Mac Brown team. All right. I'm not going to mention the team name because you will get this right. But this rookie quarterback became the first rookie to throw for more than 400 yards in his NFL debut in a 28-21 loss to the Cardinals.
What year?
2011.
Russell Wilson. That's like the right time range.
Actually, I'll care.
That's like 1 year off.
He said rookie. Russ. Not a bad guess. I don't think it's actually a bad guess.
Is that Andrew Luck?
No, I gave you another hint. You just didn't look at me. I gave you a good hint. I gave a really good hint if you were watching on the stream. he won. He probably had the best season by an individual in the history of college football.
Cam Newton.
There we go. It was Cam. Yeah.
Like Russell Wilson's what, 2012? And he had a crazy rookie year too.
Yeah, but that, if you
And
remember,
it's an in division team, and you usually play.
Russell Wilson was drafted in 2012. But you have to remember he was the third. That those Seahawks teams were not built on airing the ball out. They had Marshawn Lynch. They were a run the ball defense team. So,
Right. But the Cardinals, I thought it was going to be week 1 in division rivalry. So
there you go.
And I still got it wrong. Today's a bad day. Goodness.
Was that you didn't get one right?
No, I did. Pete Rose.
Oh, yeah. You got the cheater right. All right. So that was it. 1 and 3. 1 and 3.
I think I encourage PEDs in baseball. It's so entertaining to watch.
Well, Pete Rose didn't do PEDs, so that's
what
okay.
do you do?
Why is he? You don't know why Pete Rose was banned from baseball?
I haven't read up on it. I know Trump puts him back in.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that guy. All right. Anyways, Pete. Well, he's already been reinstated after he died. Anyway, Pete Rose was banned from baseball because he gambled in baseball.
Oh. So why isn't Shohei out yet?
Because he didn't gamble in baseball. His interpreter did.
Sure, he did.
Nah, I think
Blame
there's
on
already
the interpreter.
Yeah, when the federal, I would agree until the federal authorities. I mean, federal authorities came in and arrested the dude, and he's in jail. I will say, obviously the Kawhi Leonard stuff's going on. Apparently, Pablo Torre released another thing where, like, a minority owner of the Clippers sent $2 million to the company that Kawhi was endorsing but didn't actually endorse, and he got like 1.75 of it the next day. So just keep that in mind. Anyways, let's dive right into this game. You can hear tonight right here on VTRN Sports, 7:30 airtime. Thursday night football. Commanders taking on the Packers. Commanders 3-point underdog in Green Bay against arguably the most impressive team out in week 1 was the Green Bay Packers. We did text our good pal Sam Jesse. He's taking the Commanders in the points. You missed one. Luke, I'll let you go first. What's your pick?
I think the Commanders are going to get exposed tonight. They're going to go into Lambeau, and everything that Lake Lewis thought they were, that you guys think they are, nothing. They're going to get beat tonight so bad. That's my take.
So we got a blowout. Well,
maybe not even a blowout, but I'm saying 2 scores.
Okay. Ooh. Well, luckily, in order to be right, you just need them to win by 3. Ty? I mean, Mr. 7. Wait a minute. Timeout. Did you not hear Ty's prediction on the Commander? You said we believe in the Commander so much. Ty picked them to go 7-10. I picked them to go 9-8. So it's not like we think. Lake thinks they're going to go 13-4, which is a plausible outcome. But go ahead.
I was, me, I'm gonna pick the Packers. I'm gonna think this could be I say between a 3-point, 5-point game. I'm gonna say Packers win by 3 points.
All right, so you'll take the Packers in the points. I'll also take the Packers in the points. I don't think it'll be a 2-score game. I think it'll be like a 28-20, 24-17 kind of game.
Yeah, that's what I want to go by. I feel like it'll be
because it's going to be slow start because it's the first Thursday game of the season, or the one that's on the A to Z app that you can't, if you don't have the membership, you can't get. So you can get for free on the VTRN Sports app.
I believe that Mike Parsons, he probably will play, but not that much still.
I think Parsons, you'll probably see more staffs. They mainly use Parsons as like a third down merchant.
Yeah, he probably will be a more situational.
He'll be a situational pass rusher again. I do think the speed. So underrated part of Green Bay's defense is is a Quay Walker who's actually, I think, pretty equipped to defend Jaden Daniels. So keep that in mind. I know I'm overreacting to week 1, but the Commanders' offense didn't look great against the Giants. I know they scored 21 points, but it wasn't pretty.
Yeah.
Whereas the Packers looked awesome, and
I think Terry McLaurin's will get a lot of touches this game as well.
Yeah, we'll see
compared to last game.
Yeah, they're gonna have Green Bay likes to play a lot more man.
Mm-hmm.
I picked the Packers to make the Super Bowl, and I feel really good about it. And I think they're a really good team. I think they're the second best team in the NFC behind Philadelphia. And so I just think the Packers at home feel like they can make a statement and they get the win.
Yeah.
And
plus, there's a possible chance they go see each other in the playoffs again too. As well.
Yeah. So
tonight would be really interested. So I'm really excited about this game. But I think it's going to be a real close game. I can see it's definitely going to be a defense possession game from either team.
Yeah. Thursday Night Football, you don't put it out of the question.
Is it Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit on the call tonight?
No. Yes, but why would you listen? Why would you watch that when you can listen to it for free on the BTR and Sports app, Luke?
Good point.
So, but make sure you keep that in mind. Again, tonight, 7:30 on the VTR and Sports app, you can listen to Virginia Tech. Nope, you can listen to Washington taking on the Commanders. You can listen to Virginia Tech on the VTR and Sports app on Saturday when they take on Old Dominion in a game in which, if Virginia Tech loses, which it's ODU, so I did not put past Virginia Tech. Ricky Ronnie could end his good pal Brent Price's career at Virginia Tech. 5 o'clock airtime, by the way, for that. We'll pick tomorrow, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say I don't think it will happen, but I wouldn't be shocked if it happens. We do have Andy Bitter joining us in a matter of moments to talk about that game, as well as he has a great article for TechSideline.com, his post-game thoughts after the Vanderbilt win and how it brings there. But I do want to mention, talk a little bit about Virginia before we go talk about the Hokies. Obviously, the Cavaliers, tough loss to NC State. They got good news is they have a get-right game against William & Mary. I think they will handle themselves well, despite the fact that they're taking on their former head coach in Mike London, which shout out to Ed, by the way. Great Trost Law fast take about comparing Brent Pry to Mike London. I think he made a good point there. Yeah, I think you look at this matchup. I think Virginia, you're heavy favorites. You get in, you get the win, you stay efficient. I think they're offensively really, really good. Then they host Stanford. So the good news is you're probably going to get your next 2 games are going to be wins if you're Virginia. And then you gear up for a big matchup against Florida State, which you probably will be a big underdog in that one. But for Virginia, if you come out of the first 4 weeks at 3-1, you feel pretty good about yourself if you are the Cavaliers. Am I off on that, Ty? Okay. You could have. Okay. Way to help. Way to contribute. 3-1 on the season for that. Plus, we'll pick all our games. We'll pick Virginia. We'll pick Virginia Tech. We'll pick Liberty against Bowling Green. We'll also pick the games we have for our airwaves, which includes, obviously, we'll have the Super Bowl rematch on Sunday between the Eagles and the Chiefs. We'll also have some great games in college for you as well. Wisconsin, Alabama, Georgia at Georgia Tech, or Georgia at Georgia Tech, Clemson at Georgia Tech, which upset special. And Georgia at Tennessee, also the marquee game of the day. We'll have that for you as well. So make sure you tune in to the VTR in Sports Facebook page to see all our graphics to break down the games we have for you. Luke's doing a good job with those, so shout out to Luke for that. All right, when we come back here, Andy Better, TechSideline.com, joins us talking Hokies. And where do we go from here next on the morning warm-up?
Mark Dalton here with Terry Volkswagen. Get ready to fall head over heels for the perfect VW SUV. One size doesn't fit all, though, and that's why Volkswagen has an SUV for everyone. From the compact and affordable Volkswagen Taos to the tech-packed Tiguan and the spacious Volkswagen Atlas. No matter which one fits your lifestyle, You'll love the comfort, performance, and safety. Stop by Terry Volkswagen on Forest Road in Lynchburg or check us out online at terrybw.com. Terry Volkswagen. You'll love our cars.
Love the outdoors, but not the bugs or dealing with the weather? Call Collins Custom Builders today to plan your sunroom or screen porch. Vaulted ceilings and windows all around, we can help you design your dream space to enjoy the outdoors while staying comfortable. Our customers have relied on us for 35 years to provide the best in service and materials. See some of our projects online at collinscustombuilders.com. Plan early and call today for your free estimate.
Warm weather means traveling. Hi, I'm Randy Trost from Trost Law with a couple of safety reminders. Always wear your seatbelt. Don't drive distracted or impaired. And remember, it's better to safely arrive a little later than being in an auto accident. Those things can make a big difference between a fun family trip or a painful alternative. At Trost Law, I hope you never need our services, but if you do, we're here to help you at 777-HURT or trostlaw.com.
Hey, small to medium business owners, if you're frustrated with slow IT support, high costs, or paying for services you just don't use, it's time for a change. Hi, I'm Colt with We Fix Stupid Computers. We provide reliable on-site and remote support tailored for businesses just like yours. And we go beyond just fixing problems. We empower your staff with real tech knowledge so they can work smarter every day. From repairs to training to full IT support, we save you time, stress, and money. Call We Fix Stupid Computers, 434-525-8590. We're smart support with real savings.
Feel the excitement, experience the intensity. Castle Coliseum comes alive when Hokie basketball takes the court.
He made it on 1 foot. Lead, it's down.
From buzzer beaters to hard-fought battles, Virginia Tech men's and women's basketball takes on the toughest teams in the ACC.
Step up and in. Here come the Hokies. Castle erupts.
Don't just hear about it, be there. Tickets on sale now at Hokiesports.com.
Is it time for a new place to call home? Moving out on your own? Perhaps your existing lease is up for renewal. Looking for a new roommate? Or maybe you just need a change of scenery. Then you need to check out brownstoneproperties.com. We have Central Virginia's largest selection of apartments, townhomes, and single-family homes. Applying is easy with our online application. Visit us online to begin your search at brownstoneproperties.com.
Good morning. We are just getting your day started here on VTRN Sports with the morning warm-up. Stay connected with the show at Trey Lyle VT and Ty Tracy 90 on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Listen wherever you are with the VTRN Sports app or watch the show live on YouTube at youtube.com/VTRN Sports Lynchburg. Now, back to the morning warm-up.
7:41 on this Thursday. What a song. It's just shout out to Jimi Hendrix. Anyway, welcome back to the morning warm-up. I'm Trey Lyle. Joining us now is Andy Bitter from TechSideline.com. And Andy, you know, we talked before the season how you don't want to go 0-2 to start with losses to South Carolina and Vanderbilt. Now, South Carolina lost. You thought there's some positives you could take away from it in terms of how they performed, especially defensively in that one. But ultimately, a 34-0 second half leads to a 44-20 final score on Sunday, where your article from TechSideline.com does a great way of laying this out. It just feels like not an if, but now a win with Brent Pryce' future. Ultimately, watching that game, when did you get the sense of, this went from, Tech performed really well in the first half to, oh my God, this is just, an epic collapse in the second half?
You look at the first half and the defensive performance especially. They forced a couple turnovers, but you look at the yards per carry Vanderbilt was still getting, it was like 6.3 or something like that. And you're like, man, that's not good. They got to tighten that up, or this could be a long second half. I did not think it was going to come to that. I did not think it was going to get in the second half, and both sides of the ball shut down for Virginia Tech, essentially. I think once Vandy took that lead, right at the end of the third quarter, Virginia Tech had offered no resistance on them going down the field, even though the Commodores had a couple penalties that probably should have derailed those drives. You're sitting there going, I just don't think they have any answer for this. And certainly offensively, they didn't. Even punting it away on a 4th and 1 that, 4th and inches, really, that perhaps you could have gone for there. I think it was just a complete surrender in the second half, and I haven't really seen that out of Virginia Tech too often in my time covering this team. Maybe that 2019 Duke game kind of felt similar in how the tide completely shifted to like, hey, this is pretty competitive. Oh my gosh, they're getting run off the field in this one. But it's a pretty stunning result for a team that, like you said, looked okay against South Carolina. Certainly did not look okay in the second half last week.
Yeah, you in your article you talk about, and I remember the 45-10 loss to Duke and just the vibe, and it felt like, okay, this is the end or the beginning of the end when it came to the era of Justin Fuente. Ironically, he still got 2 more seasons before he was fired. Looking at this game itself, and obviously, honestly, you probably flip the scores, and maybe we don't have this feeling, get sort of blown out by a South Carolina team that had bigger expectations, and then lose a close fought game against Vanderbilt. You might feel like, okay, they're growing as a team. They did lose a lot of talent last year, but this is how the results happen. Ironically, Vanderbilt and South Carolina playing each other this weekend. Anyway, it just feels like now that the focus square in. I mean, I guess Brent Pry should feel good that Billy Napier is now the focus of everyone getting fired and not him entirely. But ultimately, it just feels not now we've switched from an if then win situation when it comes to Brent Pry. But bigger picture, does the focus now go in on the entire athletic department? Is this something in which that unless true changes need to happen throughout the entire athletic department in terms of the leadership?
Yeah, I think it obviously puts a lot more people in the frying pan here. This season wasn't taking place without a backdrop of an alarm going off. I mean, it started with Whit Babcock giving a presentation to the Board of Visitors saying they need $50 million more a year. That's pretty significant, as it was. Pry's on the hot seat coming in, had to win or else this year. And not only that, by an extension, the guy who hired him is in that situation. I mean, this is Whit Babcock's second football hire here, and neither of them have gone well. Justin Fuente cost them $8.75 million to buy out, and how many years of sort of treading water when it could have been somebody else doing the job. And you go out, you hire Brent Pry, first-time head coach. Feels like he made a lot of similar mistakes in terms of assistant coaches that maybe didn't work out as well as he hoped along the way. And this has been an underfunded, it felt like, athletic program as a whole. When this is the case and football's not winning, your athletic director is under the microscope as well. So, I think we could be looking at a complete house cleaning coming up here if these results continue the way they've started the season.
And I know it's weird to get in the politics of this, but when you deal with a board of visitors, it's seemingly to get a little political. I know the end of this month there's a board of visitors meeting. Would we have clarity on that like relatively soon? Because it feels like you're going to have to hire the AD before you hire the football coach if all these changes happen.
Yeah, that's the real strange part about the timing is you don't want to wait until December or end of November to do this because obviously, that's a time for coaching changes, but you want to kind of get a head start if you're looking for a new head coach. But you also want an AD in place to be able to make that hire. If you get rid of both at the end of the season, what kind of head coach are you going to be able to get that doesn't know who his AD is going to be? And these AD searches take longer than head coaching searches do. That's something that is going to be a big picture thing that you're looking over the entire athletic department. You don't make that hire in 2 weeks. And maybe that's why a lot of these football hires go south is because there's sort of an arranged marriage thing, a really rushed type deal, speed dating situation you've heard Whit Babcock say in the past. So the timing becomes very awkward. If they're thinking about an AD change, that conversation needs to take place now. And the action needs to be sort of moving right now. I don't know if it is to that degree, but it could be accelerated with a few more losses here.
Yeah, and we'll see. Let's move to the game for this Saturday as we're here with Andy Bitter at Andy Bitter VT talking a little bit about the future of where Virginia Tech goes from here. It feels like there's kind of like two timelines. You have the future of the program itself, but since we're still very early in the season where, no conference games have been played. They're 0-2 against two SEC teams, and they have a game, where they're over a touchdown favorite this Saturday night in Lane Stadium against Old Dominion, a team that, obviously Britt probably lost to early on, and then obviously maybe was the beginning of the end for the Justin Fuente era. You got a practice report out for TechSideline.com. Offensive line issues for Virginia Tech. It appears that Johnny Garrett's status for Saturday is in the air. How big of an issue is it right now for Virginia Tech in terms of just like it appears their injuries are not just a lot. It's a lot at one of the key areas, which is the offensive line.
Yeah, it's a huge issue. I mean, that was the one position coming into the season where you go, they really can't sustain many injuries here. And I think, I was looking at specifically at Tomas Rimac. I'm like, that's a valuable guy that plays a lot of positions and has played a lot of football over the years. You can't have him go down in any situation. Well, shortly behind him on the list is probably Johnny Garrett at left tackle, and that's exactly what happened last game. He goes out. You got to move Rimac over the left side. All of a sudden you have Aiden Lynch playing in his first college action because your top two reserves, Brody Meadows and Jaden Muskrat, are injured as well. Didn't suit up didn't play in those games. And then Montavious Cunningham gets hurt. I mean, that's 2/5 of your already sort of patchwork line that is injured. And Price said, 7 of the top 10 guys at offensive line are doing some sort of treatments during the week. So that's a banged up group already, and we're 2 weeks in. That is not how it needs to go. And, that group is so critical in the importance of every other operation in the offense. You see, Kyron Drones has no time to throw. There's very little holes for running backs to run through. If the quarterback doesn't have time to throw, the receivers can't get open, can't get down the field. That group is sort of the whole, linchpin for the entire success of the offense. If that's not working and moving in the right direction, it could be a struggle for the Hokies offense. So they need to get healthier there. They need to scheme up some stuff, knowing that Drones isn't going to have a lot of time to throw in the pocket. I think they did a better job of that in the first half, and then second half, I don't think they did a great job of anything in the second half. So I can't compliment anything on that whole operation, but they need to go into this with a plan and how they can mitigate having a less than 100% offensive line out there, because it caused all sorts of problems last week.
We're here with Andy Bitter at Andy Bitter VT from TechSideline.com discussing Virginia Tech and where do they go from here, and both in the micro and macro sense. We talked macro about the future of the athletic department. We're kind of doing the micro at their game with Old Dominion. Looking at the opponent, and I've mentioned this a couple of times, Colton Joseph actually is, no one's really talking about his start to the season, but it's been solid to say the least. He looks He's the leading rusher amongst quarterbacks in the country at 228 yards. He has 6 total touchdowns. Obviously, in his game against Indiana, I think he played pretty well against, obviously, an Indiana team that's still ranked. And then North Carolina Central. I don't know if you can take much from that, but it appears that the Monarchs at least can present some unique challenges that similar to what they faced last week with a very versatile quarterback.
Yeah, didn't Joseph start the Indiana games like a 70-yard touchdown run or something like that?
Yeah, it was something crazy like that.
Yeah, he's a guy that can take it to the house, and I think this is an offensive scheme that's going to make you have to defend the quarterback run and have to cover a lot of different lanes, and they have the ability to pop a big run if you're not in the right spot. So, a week after Virginia Tech was not in a lot of right spots, I think that is certainly a concern coming in for the Hokies defense. ODU's no pushover. They were in a lot of tight games last year. They didn't win a lot of them, but they were in a lot of tight games. And, I think this has been a program that, that they just canceled a whole bunch of games in the series. If you're a team like ODU, I don't know if you can't help but take offense at something like that. Oh, you're not worthy of playing us anymore, of us traveling down there. They've been a problem every time that Virginia Tech has gone down to Norfolk to play these games. I mean, a couple of pretty monumental losses in Virginia Tech history. So I think this is an ODU team that gets up for this game and perhaps sensing a little bit of a wounded animal here in Virginia Tech. I think it'll be a really interesting game on Saturday. And, you know, whether the Hokies win, whether the Hokies lose, I think how they play in that game is going to be very interesting to watch for the rest of the season.
Yeah. How, if they lose this game, how quickly do you think this season could get derailed? I mean, you could argue it already has gotten derailed to some degree, but it feels like the you know, there's like a little teeny ounce of light in terms of just like maybe getting to 6-6. But it feels like if they lose this game, fans are in store for one of another really, really rough season.
Yeah, I mean, if they start 0-3, I don't know if Brent Price is the coach on Monday. And I'm not saying that from like inside information. I'm saying an 0-3 start in a do or die season is typically how those early season coach firings happen. You know, how did Scott Frost get ousted in Nebraska? They had a bunch of embarrassing losses at the beginning of the season where he had to win. That's typically how it happens. So, you know, if I'm Brent Pry, do not lose this game. You have to go out there and win it. It might be ugly. It might not be perfect. You got to find a way to win this game and get this team moving in the right direction. Because that gets you to next week. You should beat Wofford. You get the ACC play. You start with NC State and Wake Forest, I believe. You know, if there's a winnable game in the ACC, it's Wake Forest. And, you know, NC State, well, it has a great offense, a really interesting quarterback, did not play a whole lot of defense last week against Virginia. And I actually think UVA should have won that game, threw it away at the end there with a pick in the end zone. So, you know, their schedule sets up that they can get right here over the next couple of weeks. They need to play a lot better than they have so far. So that's why I'm curious to see how they come out and play. Because it's not just, you know, whether they beat ODU. I think they should beat ODU. They have to beat ODU for Brent Pry's job security here. But you have to play well and feel like you're making progress here. So these next couple of weeks you can make, you know, get some momentum going.
Offensively, it's just still not been there. Obviously, they put up 20 points this time. It seems to me the bigger issue, obviously, Drones has not looked great in these first two games, and he needs to play a lot better. But the running game just, it feels non-existent at this point. Is that something that's kind of surprised you, or is it something that maybe, you know, you want to see more in this ODU game? Obviously, replacing Bajal Tuden could be a big hole, but ultimately, the running game just feels very lackluster to start the year.
Yeah, I hate to be a broken record, but I keep coming back to the offensive line. I think that's the key to everything here. I don't know that there are a ton of holes that they're running through. I think there is certainly a talent drop-off from last year. Tootin was exceptional, and you see him. I mean, the Jaguars are trading away their backup to give him more carries in a backup role in Jacksonville. That's the type of player he was. He could take over a game. I don't think they have a guy like that on this year's roster. That said, I think Hawkins has looked okay in the times that he's carried the ball. He hasn't gotten it a ton. But you got to have holes to run through. So I think that's where it starts. I think you look at how Drones has played. It kind of starts with the protection that he's getting. He's not been a great player under pressure. And honestly, all he's faced this year is pressure, it feels like. And teams know that. They're bringing the house after him, and he's struggling to adapt to that. So if they can get a little bit better blocking up front, I think they have a better chance to run the ball. But it's got to start with that group in the trenches. O-line's got to be better.
At Andy Bitter VT, Andy Bitter from TechSideline.com. Andy, final question for you. Some interesting news came out this week as the college football playoff named former Virginia Tech and Memphis head coach Justin Fuente as its senior advisor for football. Were you shocked by this? Obviously, Fuente has not gotten back in coaching since his time at Virginia Tech ended. He's on the record as he doesn't want to be a coach anymore in this current era. Do you think this is smart by the CFP getting a guy like Fuente? Were you surprised by it to see this is how his name popped back up?
I wasn't surprised by it because David Teal ran into him at the TCU North Carolina game and chatted with him and told me that was a possibility that this job was coming. But that's the only reason I knew about it was hearing it from that. I don't really know what this position does exactly. Like sort of a liaison between the head coaches and the playoffs and the operation. Like I guess he can give them a perspective of what a head coach needs from the playoff to help it through this whole process and. Just a perspective like that. I think it's an interesting job for him. Danielle Tyler now, Danielle Bartelstein back at the time. She's married to former Hokies linebacker Jack Tyler. She worked for the college football playoff before in an organizational aspect. So certainly put in a good word for Justin Fuente on that front. I'll hand this to him. He was organized. He was a very organized guy, and I think you need an organizational mindset to go in and do a job like this to help out with logistics and things like that. But I'd be curious to see how this thing actually unfolds and sort of what his job becomes with the playoff.
Well, a guy we know who does a great job is Andy Bitter at Andy Bitter VT. He covers Virginia Tech for TechSideline.com. Andy, I appreciate you getting out with us this morning and breaking it all down.
All right. Thanks for having me.
That will do it for us today. Tomorrow, we'll talk NASCAR, get you ready for the race, the Bristol Night Race, one of the best weekends of the year, as well as we'll have our picks. So Sam will join us for that. Reminder, all of us but Sam are taking the Packers tonight with the 3 points. So make sure you tune in, 7:30 airtime on VTRN Sports. Also tune in to the Fast Lane at 5 o'clock later today. Now, back to Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio. This is VTRN Sports, powered by ESPN Radio. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks so much for listening to the Morning Warm-Up on